Hey guys, me and Orchler What Ifs. Where we last left off, let's see, checking. Where I last left off, uh, Deku, Wilford, and Tai pretty much split from the rest of the group after the Legiana and such, or Jack, sort of bit off more than they could chew. That led to a quick fracturing of group where Wilford pretty much told Tai and Deku that he is kind of worried that those guys may come after him. Decided to move on. Not long after moving on, Deku officially turned 12, I believe. And then after that, they were able to get a house, but a little bit after, a gang who the landlord owner had been paying for protection money, quote unquote, essentially said that they had to pay up what the landlord didn't. Before that, after that little I keep on saying after. But after that little confrontation, what happened is that Wilford sent Deku and Tai away with his watch, which is what the gang member wanted originally. And he came back, and when Wilford wouldn't pay up or give anything of value, what happened was, well, a fight. Tai and Deku just went away and are hiding out. As Deku's worried about what they're gonna do, Tai's just telling him he shouldn't worry about that, Deku. We'll find a way. But until then, as they enter a guild, essentially, like a nice little guild hall or something along those lines, where you'd become a hunter. As they are like sitting in there, like looking to get a bit warm, since it is in winter, but it is nighttime. It is kind of chilly, I would say, maybe. As they like get over there and like start to warm up, it's like, can we help you? The guild is, well, we're about to close. As Tai says, oh well, sorry about this. We heard that some guilds offer rooms if the people are willing to pay. It's like, yeah, are you one of those groups? Yes. Oh, it's really late right now. You should have come earlier. He's like, I know, we had a place, but a couple of a gang member showed up. He was not the good type. We snuck out our window. It's like, I see. Some of these gangs are getting out of control. The heroes are fucking useless, though. As the guy's like, alright, how long will you need? Just a day. Sorry. It'll only be a day. We kinda, ran for a little bit. As it's like, day should be fine. As he, signs it over, he's like, it's room up on the left side. Go all the way down the hallway, door on the right. It's like, thank you, sir. It's like, it's no problem. Just don't cause any trouble. And was there anyone else with you? There was an older gentleman. We call him Grants. We've been together. Hanging out. We found Deku one day. Well, he found me. Then I found him. And we just sort of been stuck together. He's like, yeah, bonds like that tend to last longer. Good. Now go to bed. I gotta go get my own rest. It's like, yeah, again, thank you. It's like, no problem, kid. As they lock up the place and Deku and Tai head to the room. So skip several months later. Well, not several months. We skip to the morning as Deku wakes up before Tai, and he heads out of the room because there isn't a bathroom. So as he grabbed the key and is walking down the hallway, finds the bathroom. As it's morning, as people are starting to get up, Deku's like, As he finishes using the bathroom, so he can get Tai up, he's like, okay, we'll go. As they get up, they hear reports of last night there was a monster fight in the middle of the city on this street over this building. As they talk, they have people speaking with one another. It's like, I didn't see the fight. All I heard was roaring and crashing all over the ground. I saw the police and heroes rush by, but that's all I heard. And we cut to the scene of the crime now. Well, it seems we had a monster turf war. Or, that's what we believe it was. But reports say that just before the event happened, a gang members were going around collecting protection money, as they would put it. It seems like it's just a classic case of gang violence. But we wish to talk with the landowner. He's like, well, as he's like rubbing his head, saying, I probably know who fought him. It was some new guys who came in. A man named Wilford. He and a couple other people are staying in that building up there. But before all that, well, as he goes on a tangent explaining what probably happened, and then Wilford has already been, as he's like, and one of the suspects were apprehended last night. An older-looking gentleman with grayish silver hair was taken to the police station as he's being processed, as he will most likely go to jail. There are some laws for using monster quirks, and the damage he caused along the property and the lives he endangered. It may get him some time, but we have not yet seen this. Considering the situation, it may be. As I remember, the things I put up is that using monster powers aren't quite outlawed in the same way quirks are. There are regulations, it's just not as restrictive. Like, you can use them for work and such, and sometimes self-defense if you keep it under control. Wilford did not. He went full monster, and if you were to use it for self-defense, you'd go into second degree, where you look kind of monstrous, but you aren't a full monster transformation, if you get my meaning. As we cut over to Wilford, as they sort of wanted to talk with him last night, but he wasn't able to get access. So Deku and Tai see this, trying to hold back yawns. So Deku and Tai see this, it's alright, we should go see him. As they get up and walk out of the guild hall, it's they don't tell where the police were, but they talk with as they look around, says, excuse me, as they go to one of the police stations. Excuse me, my name's Tai and this is Deku. We heard you have Wilford. It's you know him? He's yeah, we're part of the two that was with him. It's can you prove it? It's we got his watch. He sent us away last night because he knew things were going to get violent. Can we talk with him? It's well, he ain't here, first off. He's on the other side of the town. Yeah, he shouldn't take that long, as they give him directions, as it's thank you, officer, and thank you for your time. It's no problem, you guys seem like good people. I just think you guys were caught up in something that, well, happens too often around here for my taste. But nothing we can do much. They got monsters in their ranks, and monsters are damn tough to get down, even with heroes and the hunter. Well, the Hunters Guild aren't allowed to take action. Or they don't choose to, it's one of the two. They prefer to hunt feral monsters, as they would put it. Killing humans ain't in their job descriptions, as they would put it. Even though that's where they were founded on. It's yeah. Anyways, see you later, kids. As he goes back to doing his paperwork. As it's not secretary, it's pretty much a person that would come in and deal with stuff. As Deku and Tai make their way over, they speak with the person in charge, and then they're able to get well, they're like shown to Tai as they talk with him. It's like, hey Tai, what's going on? It's like, it's nothing much. What about you two? It's like, it's fine. We were able to get a place last night. It's like, good. So, what now? As it's like, hey Tai, as they hand him his watch, it's like, hey, is he allowed to have that? It's like, it's a watch. What's it gonna do? Blow up? He's a monster for crying out loud. That shot caller may be there, but still. It's like, good point. It's like, yeah, we're gonna be here for a while. Like, you two should go get settled down somewhere. And he, like, points a finger at Deku. Tai, you're gonna have to work your ass off more so than you were doing before. It's like, gotta keep Deku in that school thing. He starts falling behind, it's on our heads. So, you know, best education possible. It's like, yeah. As we skip several months later, Tai has been busting his ass. He's been working like triple time. Like, he isn't just working overtime, he's like working triple time, like I said. As then we skip over to Wilford, and he was convicted. Unfortunately. Some people were able... It was proven that he was using it in self-defense. But with the amount of damage and such he caused, it was not excused. So they did put him in time for jail. It's not a long time. It's just like 2 years. 2 to 3 years at most. At little, it's like less than a year. But it's like good behavior and all that. Whatever. We skip over to Tai. Well, not Tai. We skip over to Tai and Deku. As Tai and Deku are handling the like situation, as they're looking around and then there's like as Tai's like, hang on a second, that smell, it's familiar. I think it was, oh no. As it's like, Tai, Deku, where you guys been? As it's like, shit. What do you want, Jack? It's like, man, is that any way to treat an old friend? Come on. Let's hang out. I got something I need to ask you to. It's like, I need a place to crash for a bit. You know, as it's like, go away, Tai. We told you. We ain't dealing with you anymore. It's like, come on. That's not how friends are supposed to be. It's like, friends don't try to get friends involved with robbery. It's like, oh, it wasn't anything that bad. Besides, all the other guys weren't such little bitches like you. It's like, fuck you, Jack. Deku, cover your ears. As Deku, like, before that, he's like, Deku, cover your ears. As it's like, as they're sort of hushed at each other, it's like, I wish we could have done this more simply, Tai. You know, you give me a bit of cash, I leave, but seems we're gonna have to do this the hard way. As he pretty much pulls out snaps his fingers, and then they're surrounded. It's like, the local gangs around here really do appreciate the support of monsters like me and you, like you and I. But it seems like you don't quite have the same mentality, Tai. It's like, I may not like most people, but I'm still a better, decent human being. It's like, funny. Still got jokes after all this time, Tai. It's only been like a month. It hasn't been that long. It's like, yeah, but still, I figured you probably would have gone quiet or something. Anyways, hand me your money or you die. As one of the the gangers say, you know, boss, you told me about this little kid right here. You know, there is some groups on the other, hidden some along this way, that wouldn't mind a nerrgegante. It's like, seriously. As Jack, well, he's like, how about this, Tai? You were the kid. Make your choice. As Ty's looking around, he's like, I can't beat them all. well, if Deku transformed, well, that would require killing them. Shit. As he's like, 5. As Ty's rushing, he's like, fine, I'll come along. It's like, oh, so close, Ty. Well, unfortunately for you, I reached 0. As then they're like, dig him, boys. As the guys start walking close, it's like, don't put up a fight, otherwise you're gonna die. Or get beat. As Ty's like, Deku? It's like, what? He's like, transform? It's like, Ty, that's insane. As it's like, it ain't. Now do it. As he goes to start transform, but before he's able to, there's a boom. As then he falls to the ground, as then a few of the other guys come and start kicking on him. Pretty much throw a shock collar on him, as Deku goes to run away, as he tries to transform, but pretty much Jack transforms and jumps on the back of Deku and sort of forces him to the ground. Deku's able to wrangle himself free as he sort of jumps back, as Jack's like, you've done pretty well. That's stupid accent. As he Legions are high-pitched screamers. I can't deal with that. You've done pretty well, Deku. Much better than last time. But that won't do much. Either give up now, or die. Isn't much choice, is it? As Deku, increases the amount of bones he's growing, he's like, don't go too fast, otherwise you won't be able to move. As Deku runs sort of serpentines and throws a couple of the spikes into Jack's wings, as he's like, so close, but as he does his little spin attack, he ends up sort of doing a spin attack right into Deku, as Deku's hit back a bit. He then goes over, where Deku landed and was thrown into like a wall a little bit. Goes over, jumps on the sign that's above it, and brings it down as it crashes on top of Deku. As Deku's like, oh. As remember what I said, he is a bit tougher than some monsters his size, but he isn't matured yet completely, so he's still kind of weak. As Jack has a bit more experience fighting intelligent monsters, as he would put it, while Deku really doesn't. He's fought mostly feral ones, and pretty weak feral ones at that. So, pretty much, Jack says, alright, get the color on him. We'll finish this up here. As Deku's like, no, not again. As he gets up, as the guy's like, now, Deku, ain't that hard. Why don't you just submit? As Deku has one of his bone pieces, as the guy goes to put it on his neck, Deku takes the bone and shoves it right into his leg. As the guy's like, son of a bitch! As Deku runs over and pretty much transforming or going into like a mid-transformation, he rips off the thing of a sewer and runs into the sewers. As he starts bolting through, it's like, the cat's getting away! They're like, no time for him. Come on, we'll get away with the bounty now. They gotta be paying for something for a battle-hardened T-Rex. It's like, you're gonna make us a lot of money, Ty. I thank you for that. As Ty's like, Deku, good thing he got away. As Ty tries to stand up, then he's just kicked down again. It's like, keep moving and we'll kill you next time. As they pretty much grab him and throw him in the back of a van. As Deku's like hiding out in the sewers, he's like, like hyperventilating. He's like, what do I do? What do I do? It's like, Wilford's in prison. Ty's gone. Like, Ty, I gotta get Ty back. As Deku is like, as Deku's thinking, alright. Oh, this is some serious work I gotta do. As he starts running through the things he should probably do, as he thinks, could I go to the police? That kind of makes sense. Like, they aren't as objective monsters, I think. Oh, what should I do? Or, I don't know. As a kid, he's panicking. He's like panicking, thinking, what if they come down here and try to grab me up? What should I do? Running through the possibilities inside of his head, he's like, I don't know. And she's like, they got Ty, the Wilford. He's grabbing his head and thinking, I got no one to stand around him. As he thinks, he's like, wait, they were talking about some fighting arenas? Maybe there's some around here that I could do. No, that wouldn't make much sense, would it? As he kind of just sort of stays down there. So when he wakes back up, he goes up, and it's the middle of the day now. He's like, as in he feels in his stomach. He's like, I gotta go to school, but oh no, what do I do? So as he goes over to the school, and is like, as school asks him, he's like dirty. He's like, Midoriya, what happened to you? He's like, as he gives a rundown of what happened to him last night. So the school notifies the police and such, and they try to take care of the situation. But until then, he's pretty much put in an orphanage. Since nobody at school really knows Deku, since he tended to keep to himself. Like, our kids did try to, like, play with him and such, and he did join in sometimes. But some other times he was just, like, quiet to himself. Quite more times than not, he was more or less a loner. As they put him in the little orphanage. As the school's trying to figure out what they should do with Midoriya for like, because they know that, like, the two guys that were providing for him are no longer there. So they can't just, they have enough to let him stay there for, like, the remaining month. But, like, they were given the amount, like, to go there per month. So they're like, alright, we'll allow him continue to go here, but we'll get him set over, transfer to the other school. As they, like, notified Midoriya of this, and that's where they go from there, is that when Deku's actually questioned by the police about, they've heard reports of similar things happening to other monsters. And, like, some people with quirks is that people, like, gang members will, like, snatch them up and then pretty much sell them into a form of slavery where they'll be put in fight pits. As they ask Deku, did these guys have any specific individuals among them? Like, he's like, he doesn't want to tell them that, oh yeah, they have this other monster called, Jack. We knew him a little bit ago, and that he doesn't know the full details, but something happened between him, Wilford, and Ty. As I'll just say this, is that Wilford and Ty told him to, like, not remain ignorant, but feign ignorance when it comes to this situation so that way he doesn't get in trouble. So, following those events, Wilford's actually questioned in prison. We're aware that you know of a monster called Jack. It's like, oh, what happened? Sorry. As they say, he's snatched up one of your people. Ty? It's like, yeah. Midoriya is the kid Deku. He's fine, like, for now. He's just hanging. He's still going to school and such. He's like, that's good to hear. It's like, so, what now? He's like, well, we're gonna keep an eye on him just in case the Jack character comes back. But until then, we'll try to keep him safe. And it's like, is that alright? He's like, thank you for trying. We're police. It's what we do. As Deku's sitting there, he's like, As then later that night, Jack was actually keeping close attention, so they had a monster that specialized in tracking. So, as they were, like, waiting around, as they didn't know where he went, to school, but they had some. What's the best way to say it? I guess the best way to say it is that they have Ty. And I guess they could use Ty's scent, since it's fresher, to track down Midoriya and such. So that's what they do. As they, have the tracker sniff Ty over. And since Ty's typically around, where Deku is, or along those lines, they're able to track down where Ty goes, as smells and such can linger for ages. And, even the faintest of scent. Sorry if you heard that, dog. As then, they are able to find Midoriya's and Ty's old apartment. As then they find something of Deku's. As they use that to track him down. It's a very complex thing, but this happens over the course of a month. So, as police are stationed at Deku at the little at the orphanage, they're stuck on guard duty again. It's yeah. Man, I hope these guys don't make a move tonight. Guard duty is the easiest thing to do, but by God, it's the most boring. Sometimes I just want to pass out right here. It's keep your eyes open. Fall asleep now. They may sneak up on us and kill us, huh? I was yeah, right. Those guys are dumb enough to come after a kid. Especially when it's pretty much been mainstream news. It's yeah. Hey, what kind of monster do you think this kid is, then? He's well, if he is one, I'm guessing it's probably some low-tier one. Well, if they were trying to get after the kid to imprison him, they gotta know a kid ain't worth much. It's yeah, maybe he's an elder dragon? It's it's possible. Which type do you think? There's a lot of them. Oh, he could even be a nerd. As the one's oh God, it would be terrifying if he was nerrgegante, right? As they just sort of start chuckling, don't even joke about that, man. Those things are crazy. As then they feel something hit, the car shakes. As then when they look into the right, they see just one guy with a gun. As they're oh shit! As the guy's car window was rolled down, as then it's just bang bang. As police, the other officers in the area start to get out of their car, they're hey, team 4. As then one's dragged away. And then they're the police around the area is just shred to pieces. As I'll change my mind, he isn't in a orphanage. Right now, he's actually staying in a police, or what was a police officer's house. What happened is that he had the police officer in question allowed Midori to stay in his house, but he sent his family away for safekeeping. As he's Midoriya, get under the bed. As Deku was talking with the police officer, as the police officer was explaining the situation and how that everyone here is gonna make sure he's okay, alright? Deku's thank you. He's it's no problem, kid. Now let's get on. As they hear bang bang and just guys screaming Jenkins, get the kid out of as they all just hear screaming. It's Deku, we're getting down to the basement. As they run down to the basement and he throws down a table, he's alright, stay safe, kid. As they get down the basement, the guy grabs a shotgun. He's oh. As he grabs some he pretty much grabs a gun that you would use against elephants. Or monsters in this case. As he's a part-time hunter, he's alright, if they come down the stairs, Deku, I'm blasting them away. Alright? He's alright, now hide. It's get under the table, Deku. As Deku goes to dive under it and hide himself, it's as they come down as some guy comes downstairs, as then Deku just hears bang bang. As then he just hears a thumbling to the ground, as It's like, kid, officer, we don't want to kill you. We're just here for the boy. If you let him go, you'll be safe and sound, and your colleagues outside will be allowed to live. As he's like, as an officer of the law, I can't allow that. Since like, it's a shame you're protecting such a dangerous creature down there. You know what he is? He's like, no. He's like, neither do we, but from what our friend Jack says he is quite a legendary find. Haven't seen like one of him in ages. Well, went on a rampage, but that's why you don't see them as much. It's like, so many monsters go on a rampage. What kind of one could have, as he stops and then thinks about like the history that he knows of monsters, and that there's only been one monster that's gone on a rampage that hasn't been seen in a long time. As he's like, hey, it's like, you figured it out, didn't ya? Well, they do know. They were just toying with the cop. He's like, still, that doesn't change the fact this is just a kid. I ain't stepping any forward. He's like, yeah, I guess that's right. The nerrgigantes are always gonna be the result, are always gonna bring nothing but death and destruction to anybody they come across. Ain't that right, Midoriya? After all, your mama apparently your mother abandoned you in the woods because of it. Guess you're just gonna end up killing everyone around you. As Midoriya says, if I come, will you let everyone go? It's like, of course. I won't harm I won't harm a single one of them. It's like, I don't want you to say you won't. I want you to say that your group and everyone with you won't. As he's thinking, this kid's pretty smart, considering. It's like, alright, my gang, anyone outside won't hurt any of the officers. Won't hurt any more of the officers. He's like, how many are dead? He's like, he's really good. Context clues, as he's like, just 2 of them, but the rest of them are fine. He's like, now come on. And as he like throws a collar down over there, he's like, sorry, officers Jenkins. It's like, kid, don't go. I could easily hold them off, but it doesn't matter. I know what's probably gonna end up happening. As he puts the collar on, it's now, come on, kid, nice and easy. As they like follow, and then they just knock Deku out as they throw him in the back of him, as they get him out of there. As an officer radios, and, excuse me, Midoriya's been kidnapped. As it's like, wait, how? It's like, they came in the middle of the night. They're fast but brutal. Sorry, we failed. It's like, it's no problem, Officer Jenkins. You did your best. Let the other officers know as they quickly get out of town. As Deku is put up for auction pretty much in like one of the cities, in a underground city you could say, as he's actually bought up pretty quickly, and he's gonna be used as a personal fighter for some rich drug lord or something along those lines. But anyways, that's where I'm going to be ending this one off at. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope you guys continue to enjoy this, and I hope you guys have a nice day, nice night, nice life.